were when some of those plays went down. You played in the NFL. You were on the sidelines, but you were at those games too, Shriggs. As somebody covering those games or on the sideline, what is the vibe like?
Well, I was about 10 feet away from Mike Zimmer when Blair Walsh missed that kick.
Oh, so you almost caught the kick.
I almost caught the kick. It was, I mean, Vikings fans, if you didn't have enough pain this week, that was you. But
sorry.
You were on the field for the Romo snap.
Crazy.
Yeah, wild card weekend, baby.
When that happened, did you see it with your own eyes, or would you feel like what? How did that go down?
Oh, yeah, I was staring at Romo. I was ready to pack up my stuff and start the vacation planning. But as soon as he bobbled it, I thought to myself, we got another shot to win a Super Bowl. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Forget about the gaffes and the plays that don't happen. The teams that win move on. They get a chance to hoist up that Lombardi. 2
games tomorrow. We cannot wait. Let's dig into it. Good Morning Football is presented to you by Mercedes-Benz Vans on this Friday, January 4th. Let's get to it. You're part of the show. Tweet us at #GMFB. Lead block. All right, so we know the Eagles are no strangers to playing the underdog role. For more on how they're approaching this postseason, let's send it over to our guy, Tom Pelissero. Hey, Tom.
Thanks, Kay. The Eagles started practice on Thursday while the song by Lil Baby and Gunna thumped through the speakers next to the field. Title, Underdog. It was a reminder of the Eagles' mentality on their march to the Super Bowl a year ago. But this Philadelphia team is in a much different position than the one that earned the #1 seed in the NFC before those dog masks came out last January. As center Jason Kelce put it, this year we snuck in as a wild card. We're not owed anything. They're the #6 seed as they head to Chicago for a wild card playoff game against the Bears. And the Eagles would need to win 2 road games after that just to defend their title in Atlanta. Quarterback Nick Foles was full go in practice on Thursday. He admitted Wednesday that he still has some soreness in his ribs and may wear a little extra protection on Sunday, but he's improving dramatically every day. Back to you, Kay.
Thanks so much, Tom. We are all excited here in New York, but here's a comparison of these 2 defenses. Bears would appear to have a big advantage. Some would say on paper. Here it is. What do you think of that, Kyle?
I mean, I see 2 #1s up there. It's extremely compelling. Even the 7, and I see a 30. This is all on paper. We know it's objectively to the Bears.
Because you can't really put magic on paper, and that's what we're talking about here when you mention Nick Foles. There is something to it, the way he looked, the numbers he put up against a tough Texans defense, how he looked on the road in a game with it's just there's a lot going on in the Eagles' favor. So how do we come up with the Bears' magic potion or remedy that sort of stops the magic and gets them a win at home at Soldier Field, Nate?
The one individual, it has to be Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack he's the monster. He's the monster in the midway. He is the sorcerer, right? And everything that he does, I can bore you with the stats, 12.5 sacks, the 6 strip sacks, which is just a phenomenal stat line. But it's more important than just him getting to the quarterback. We did it here on the show where I showed you how he uses his left hand and get to the quarterback. He can swim around you like a wide receiver. He can bull rush through you as if he's bench pressing in the weight room. He has all those things. But it's about the guys that surround him, though. And I was thinking about the most dangerous Bears of all time.
All right.
What makes them dangerous? You know, Fozzie. He got the Muppets.
Waka Waka.
Winnie Pooh and his crew.
Yeah.
You got Kung Fu Panda and the Furious 5. They have his crew.
I love that crew.
Of course you love that crew.
There's no Peppa the Pig, but still.
Yeah.
You even got the Care Bears. There's like 1,000 of those guys. Yogi even got Hey Boo Boo.
Yep.
The point I'm trying to make is it's not just one bear. It's everybody else. You look at Keem Hicks, 7 sacks this season. You look at Roquan Smith, 122 tackles. You look at Eddie Jackson with 6 interceptions. How about Kyle Fuller with 7 interceptions? So in order for them to stop the magic, it's not Khalil Mack having 3 sacks in a game because he's going to have 1 guy, 2 guys, even triple teams sometimes. It's going to be the guys around him. If the Bears want to win this game, it's going to be the 10 other individuals on the defense side of the ball that are going to have to make plays because there's going to be multiple guys on Khalil Mack.
We're getting closer and closer to the game. My brain's starting to flip a little bit. I went to Copperfield in about 2002 in Vegas. Terrible seats. He does a thing where he throws Frisbees out, and if you catch a Frisbee, you get to go to the front. I caught a Frisbee. I got to go to the front row. Let me tell you, it's not the same show. You get a little closer to the magic starts to fade. And honestly, I'm hearing Tom Pelissero say that they're playing the Underdog song, and like I'm trying to resist my eyes from rolling. It sounds like the corny sequel, and I'll tell you why. Before, I picked the Eagles to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and the reason I did it wasn't because of a Rocky metaphor or cheesesteaks or any of that nonsense. You take the Patriots roster and the Eagles roster, put them side by side, 22 starters. I think the Patriots starter was better maybe 6 times. They had a better team, the Eagles. If you take this Bears roster against this Eagles roster, I'm talking all 22 starters, how many times are the Eagles better? Is it 8? Is it 7? Guys, this is not close. These two teams are not on the same page right now. And I know the Eagles have some momentum. It's fun. And, the Eagles beat the Rams. The Bears held the Rams to 6 points. The Eagles have gotten hot. The Bears, I'm going to say, have won 10 in a row. Their only loss was on the road in overtime with their backup quarterback in the elements. I think they win that game against Trubisky. As we're getting close to the front of the show, my rational side is coming over. I'm saying, it's not that I don't believe in the Eagles. I just really am believing in the Bears. They're good.
You look at this as like the Bears should win this game. Like pragmatically, that's how I'm looking at it. They should win.
They have a better team and they're at home.
Yeah, and the magic of the Eagles is not just Nick Foles. It's also Doug Peterson. And Doug Peterson does the Philly special and has the courage to go for it on 4th down. Other coaches don't. But like you said, Copperfield, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Copperfield, 80s and 90s, was the guy.
Ran the show.
And then David Blaine came in, and there was someone else. And I look at these two, Nagy and Peterson. Peterson might have been Copperfield. Nagy might be Blaine.
Peter is Nagy, Chris Angel.
I think that's the next. That's Eric Bieniemy. That's next year.
Oh, it's good.
But these guys, look at them right there. I mean, Peterson was the offensive coordinator under Andy Reid. Then Nagy was the offensive coordinator under Andy Reid. They've spent 6 years together, Peterson and Nagy. And what does Nagy bring to the table? He brings more magic than anything Nick Foles or Peterson could possess. He brings the trick plays. And the trick plays, to me, are not just for us to gaff at and love. There's Nagy as an Eagles coach.
That's weird.
You don't get that image too often. That is
That's
an
a cool
Eagles coach.
No visor.
But let's look at some of the trick plays, because this is the stuff that's going to drive you nuts if you're an Eagles fan. You're going to be controlling the clock, and Foles is going to make some amazing play. And then when you least expect it, Chase Daniel's going to throw the ball back to Anthony Miller. He's going to throw the ball back to Chase Daniel.
Crazy.
And then Chase Daniel's going to run it, and that's going to be your Thanksgiving special. That's what they have at their disposal. And I think the fact that Nagy has been in Doug Peterson's room and has been in Andy Reid's room with Doug Peterson, there's nothing that is going to be too crazy that the Eagles do that will surprise Nagy. On the flip side, Nagy has shown that this is to tie a game in an NFL regular season contest. They pitched a ball to Tariq Cohen to throw the ball to another player.
Like, save that.
Save it all. There's more.
They got more.
Yeah.
I think that Copperfield was Peterson and Foles. I think that Nagy and Trubisky might very well be David Blaine, and they're going to run the game moving forward. There is magic that can counter magic, and it might be even better.
I think the counter magic lies at Soldier Field, because you're talking about Nagy. Nagy took a page out of a college coach's book this week, very recently in the last couple of days, calling out the fans. Not calling them out, calling on them, saying, we need you. Like my coach, Gary Pinkel at Mizzou, used to send out these emails before games, like, we need you. We need you to go out there and you to support. And I'm like, I'll be at the bar working. But that's what he would do. This is what he's doing. He needs them to be loud. You mentioned that game against the Rams, and they held them to 6 points.
Yeah.
It was the loudest through the television I have heard Soldier Field in the last 5 years, for sure. It was ruckus. It was out of control, and that's what this needs to be, because home field, I mean, the number one defense, to expect Nick Foles to waltz into Soldier Field, by the way, he's never played a playoff game on the road. In the last 5 years, I think he's played 2 road games. Not a big sample size, and he's never done it in huge games on this stage. To go out there and then figure out the number one defense in the league, come on. To me, that's a lot of layers of things that are going to stop the magic with the Eagles.
Yeah, it's an interesting home field advantage. It's actually one of the smallest stadiums in the league. It's freezing, but they haven't had a home playoff game in a long time. They're 3-3 since 2001 at home in the playoffs. It's going to be extremely, extremely, as they say, lit at Soldier Field.
I looked at the splits. Defense, of course, playing just as well as home as they are on the road, but Trubisky's way better at home. 21 total touchdowns to 9 interceptions. And by the way, yeah, it's going to be cold. I don't get to go to this game because it's a little bit later on Sunday for me to get back on time. Kyle, as hometown people, don't show up and like drink your hot cocoa and be cold and be like on your phone. If you want to do that, stay home. I don't want those kind of fans out there representing the Chicago Bears. I want you to go absolutely bananas out there at Soldier Field for
Go get them.
Call to arms.
Yes.
Yes. Ian Rappaport at RapSheet on Twitter, our NFL Network insider, here with us now while we all get set for some playoff football tomorrow. There's a bunch of teams trying to find their new head coach. This is all happening hand in hand. So starting with the Browns, what's up?
They are interviewing Dan Campbell today. That is the Saints tight end coach and assistant head coach. Not a household name, but kind of came to the forefront when he was interim coach with the Miami Dolphins a couple years back. Not a coordinator, so not kind of the hot candidate here, but certainly a leader and someone that several teams want to speak to just because of the way he galvanizes the team in front of him. That is one. Another one, Adam Gase with the New York Jets. Remember we talked about this yesterday? The original thought was it was going to start last night. Instead, the Jets interview is actually going to be today. Gase also talked to the Arizona Cardinals. There's a lot to like here, specifically with how Gase could work with young quarterback Sam Darnold, the kind of quarterback that really any candidate would want to come in and take over. And then finally, another one whose candidacy we are tracking very closely, Brian Flores, the Patriots de facto defensive coordinator. He's got 2 interviews lined up today. He's got the Miami Dolphins. And of course, the Dolphins are now run by general manager Chris Greer, whose father was in the Patriots organization, running the show for a long time. And then after that, he's got the Green Bay Packers. 2 more on Saturday for Flores, a very hot candidate.
Ian Rappaport, appreciate the update on the coaching searches and vacancies across the league. We'll be talking to you a little bit more later on in the show. Don't go anywhere after this on Good Morning Football. The Cowboys. Tough matchup in